Hi there, it's Anton, developer advocate at ChainStack. In today's video, I'd like to share with you the Polymarket trading bot which we recently built. The bot implements quite interesting strategy which allows you to find covering or hedging pairs which may be profitable regardless of a specific outcome. Let's start with overview of Polymarket application. Polymarket is a hybrid system. Although order settlement, market resolution, and token creation is done on-chain, its order book is off-chain, it's somewhere else. You have to use Polymarket's API to trade outcomes. However, there are a couple of methods which are available on-chain. For example, you can split USDC into equal number of outcomes. What does it mean? Imagine you have a market which resolves to yes or no, and you have 10 USDC. You can split those 10 USDC into 10 yes shares and 10 no shares. The same works in the opposite direction. You can merge positions. For example, you have 5 yes tokens and 5 no tokens. You can merge them back into 5 USDC. You can redeem payouts and you can transfer those tokens. To enter a position, the bot first splits USDC into both tokens, yes and no, and then sells unwanted tokens using the order book. Exiting position is performed similarly. The bot just sells the rest of the tokens using the order book. Let's talk a bit about strategy which we decided to implement. You probably already saw a lot of examples of Polymarket trading bots which are related to copy trading and arbitrage. The strategy which we decided to implement is about covering or hedging pairs. The goal is to find pairs of markets which cover the same events, the same outcomes, and track them and find those which have price inefficiencies. For example, here we have two markets. Both are related to US and Colombia, and both have the same deadline, but they are different markets. We can bet on the target market, a main bet. Will the US strike Colombia next? And currently the price is less than 1 cent. What will happen if our bet loses? Then we have another bet. Here we bet on the opposite outcome. So US strike on Colombia by December 31. This event doesn't happen. It costs 81 cents. So we sum up those prices, we have something below $1, and that means that we potentially can make profits regardless of an outcome. Let's check those markets on Polymarket. So next country strikes, event is called, and here is the market for Colombia. We see that we can buy yes at 0.3 cents. Security is thin, so the actual price depends on how much funds you want to use, but still it gives us some difference between those two markets. Here we have 82 cents for no outcome and a bit more liquidity. So anyway, it seems that we can enter this position and make potential profits. The idea of the strategy is to find those markets across different events, different groups of events, and combine these pairs of events, which gives us all possible outcomes, and track their prices. Here we already have some price inefficiency. Maybe there are pairs out there which currently are not profitable, but prices can change, and we can take advantage of that. Speaking of the execution of this strategy, the very first step is to fetch active events from Polymarket. And there is an important point. We should distinguish between event and market, because event is a real world question and market is a tradable yes-no outcome. Events are groups of markets. The only difference between markets is some threshold, some deadline, some candidate, name, etc. The next step is to generate logical relationships between those groups. Why we don't do that on the level of markets is just because there are too many markets and it will take too much time to process them. Also, it doesn't make sense to process the same event with different deadlines a few times just to detect a logical relationship between this event and some other event. So after this step, extract implications, we have logical relationships between events. Then we need to expand those pairs into market level. Here we apply some rules to respect timelines and deadlines. Validator is the second model. It is important to have this model very strong at reasoning because this is the model which filter all invalid pairs. After that, we do some calculations and this information appear on our front end. Now let's check the trading experience of the application. Let's pick the pair from the example. Enter this position. I would like to bet 10 USDC in total, so 5 USDC on each market. Confirm. Purchase has been completed. Done. Let's go to positions and check our position. Here we can see target market and how many tokens of this market and the second market. Let's exit. We sold both tokens and the balance is 0 now. We can remove this position. One more useful thing which you can find in our project is a folder called experiments. This folder contains standalone isolated steps which we use in the pipeline in the backend of the application. Also, an interesting folder for you might be on-chain OTC. It contains a script for creating a local fork for Polygon and scripts for testing on-chain operations, contracts, different scenarios. Honestly, for me, it was interesting to test how we can transfer those tokens, how we can use escrow contracts, or we can wrap those tokens into ERC20 standard and use them potentially in other DeFi applications, or even you can build your own application. I guess that's it. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to ChainStack channel to start our projects and share your feedback. See you soon.